So in previous class we were discussed about the gate train for screw cutting on lathe. So using the gate train, how we make a threads on a cylindrical part we have seen in the last class. Using the different gate trains like simple gate train, compound gate train. So in that way we were discussed about the screw cutting on lathe. Next one is the reverted gate train. So reverted gate train is also like same like as compound gated, but the difference is that the driving and driven shafts are coaxial. Then we call it as reverted gate train. So generally reverted gain examples are like mm, in lathe we use back gear, and for the automobiles in the gearbox, and some clocks. So we use these type of reverted gate trains. So main advantage of the reverted gate train is it occupies less space. So that is the very important one in the reverted gate train. So reverted gate train is nothing but the driver and driven axes are coaxial. Then it is called reverted gate train. So here in the reverted gear train we have seen the example that is back gear of lathe. So in generally back gear is used in the lathe for the low speeds and high workpieces are used, then we use back gears. So here back gear is nothing but it is so in the lathe the spindle is having the cone pulley, so which is freely rotate on the spindle. So there is no connection between the cone pulley and the spindle. So generally what happens to get the different speeds, we need to use the belt at different steps of the cone pulley to get different speeds. So here the power transmission will take place. If there is no back gear, the cone pulley is directly connected to the driven gear by using the lock pin, so that how much the speed get to the cone wheel, that will be transmitted to the gear. So that gear is key to the shaft. So due to that the power transmission will takes place to the spindle. If the back gear is engaged, so what happens is cone pulley is consisting of a gear A. So the gear A and the driven gear is gear D. So here these two are connected by means of a compound gear train. So that is B and C. So now A is connected to B and C is connected to D. So where the power transmission takes place from cone pulley to cone pulley is directly connected to the gear A, so that A will rotate. So from A is measured with the gear B, so that power is transmitted to B. B and C are compound gear trains on a same shaft, ideal shaft. So that's why the power transmission takes place from B to C, because those two are on the same shaft, and C is connected to D. So which is key to the spindle, so that spindle will rotate. So this way the back gear of lathe will work. If the back gear is disengaged, will directly transmit the power to the from the cone pulley to the driven gear D. So this back gear is engaged to get the reduced speeds. In that case, we use this back gear of lathe. So we'll see some problems on the back gear of lathe. So in this, on this completion of this period, you can able to solve the numerical problems on back gear of lathe and motor car gearbox. So we'll see what is the motor car gearbox, and we'll see the some problems on the motor car gearbox also. So this is in the last class, and we'll see this in this class. So first we'll see the problem one based on the back gear arrangement of lathe. So here we can see how the speeds get reduced using the back gear engaged. So we can see direct speeds as well as by engaging the back gear how the speeds reduce also we'll see in this problem. So first we will see what is the given. In the bag gear arrangement of a lathe of size bag gear in the bag gear arrangement of a lathe, size of steps of cone pulley are 100 mm, 150, 200 and 250 mm. So it is four step cone pulley. It is having 100 diameter, 150 diameter, 200 diameter and 250 diameter. Calculate the range of speeds available in direct and B bag gear if the counter shaft runs at 250 rpm. So number of teeth on pinion are 120 and 70 respectively. And number of teeth on spur wheels are 200 and 250 respectively. A compound gear of 70 to 200 may be used here. So here we use the compound gear of 70 and 200 mm. So here the speed sent to the shaft is cone pulley is 250 rpm. So that is constant speed will be sent to the cone pulley, that is 250 rpm. We'll get the different speeds by shifting the belt from one step to other step. So we'll see direct, and then next we'll see how the speed will reduce by engaging the back gear. So here assume identical cone pulley on motor shaft. So motor shaft and the spindle having the identical cone pulleys. To use same belt, both the shafts must and should have identical cone pulleys in opposite direction. So we were already discussed to use the same belt for two cone pulleys. D1 plus D2 equal to D2 plus D3 equal to D4 plus D5. So that's what the identical cone pulley here. So number of teeth on pinions is 120 and 70. Number of teeth on wheels, that is spurs, is 200 and 250. 70 200 is a compound gear train. Compound gears. So if we use the direct speed ranges, first one is we need to find the direct speed ranges when back gear is disengaged. So now here counter shaft speed is 250 rpm. So counter shaft speed is 250 rpm means driver speeds are all are same, like N1 equal to N3 equal to N5 equal to N7 equal to 250 rpm. So all are on the same shaft. So direct speed will be the same, that is 250 rpm. So N1, N3 and N5 and N7 have same speed, that is 250 rpm. Let the spindle speeds without back gear are N2, N4, N6 and N8. So that is the spindle speeds when the cone pulley is directly connected to the driven shaft, driven gear by lock pin. So N2, N4, N6, N8. So this will be the diagram. So 1 and 2 first pair, 3, 4 second pair, 5, 6 second pair and 7 and 8 same fourth pair. So this is an identical cone pulley. 100 plus 250 equal to 150 plus 200 equal to 200 plus 150 equal to 250 plus 100. So in this case we can use the same belt for each step. So first we'll consider the first pair 1 and 2. Train value n2 by n1 equal to d1 by d2. n2 equal to n1 into d1 by d2. So we know the n1 value, that is n1 equal to n3, n5 and n7 have same value, that is 250. n2 equal to 250 into, so d1 is 100 and d2 is 250. So n2 equal to 100 rpm. n1 is 250 and n2 is 100 rpm by using direct speeds when the belt is at first pair. So next one is second pair, that is pair 3 and 4. Considering the pair 3 and 4, n4 equal to n3 into n4 by n3 equal to d3 by d4. So by considering n3 is 250, n4 equal to 250 into d3 is 100 by d4 200. So then here d3 is 150 and d4 is 200. So n4 equal to 188 rpm. For considering fifth and sixth pair, n6 equal to n5 by n5 into d5 by d6. So n5 is 250 into 250 by 100, then it is n6 is 333 rpm. Considering the 7 and 8 pair, n8 equal to n7 into d7 by d8, that is equal to 625 rpm. So now we got the all speeds. Direct speeds without back gear arrangement are 100, 188, 333 and 625 rpm are the direct speeds without engaging the back gear here. So next we need to consider the back gear arrangement. So when the back gear is engaged, the speeds will be reduced. So this can be find out. So speed ranges with back gear. When back gear is in, power transmitted from gear A to gear D through compound gears B and C. So when the back gear is engaged, so power is transmitted from gear A to B. B and C are on the same shaft. So power will be transmitted to C. Through C, gear D will rotate. So here gear D is key to the shaft. So that's why spindle will rotate. Gear D is key to the spindle. So that's why gear D spindle will rotate. So here speed of cone pulley equal to speed of pinion A. Speed of gear D equal to speed of spindle. Speed of cone pulley is equal to speed of pinion A, because A is directly connected to the cone pulley, so that's why how much the cone pulley rotates with the speed, that speed is equal to the pinion speed. And gear D speed is equal to the speed of the spindle here, because gear D is key to the spindle. So let the spindle speeds with bag gear are N2 dash, N4 dash, N6 dash, and N8 dash respectively. So here we can see the figure in this. The power is transmitted from cone pulley to gear A to gear B, B to C, C to D. So here we can see the B and C are the compound gears, and gear A and gear D. Gear A is attached to the cone pulley and D is key to the shaft. So here already in the problem they said that the number of teeth 70 and 200 is the compound gears teeth. So here we can see 70 and 200 is the compound gear. So 70 is TC because it has less teeth, pinion, and 200 is the gear B teeth. And 200 is here what we said is 120 and 70 are the pinion teeth. So 70 is number of teeth on C, number of teeth of C, then 120 will be the number of teeth on gear A. Now 250 will be the number of teeth of gear D. So TA equal to 120, TB is 200, TC is 70, and TD is 250. So in this way we can find out the number of teeth of different gears. So TA equal to 120, TB equal to 200, TC is 70, and TD is 250. Now NA is the RPM. So when the back gear is arranged, the speed will be reduced. That is N2 dash by N1. N2 is the given speed, driver speed. N2 dash is the driven speed. N2 is driver speed and N2 dash is driven speed. When the back gear is arranged. So when the belt is at first step. So when the belt is at first step, the driven speed is N2. So here when the back gear is arranged, N2 will be reduced. That is N2 dash is the final driven speed. N2 will be the driver speed here. N2 dash by N1, N2 is equal to product of number of teeth of drivers by product of number of teeth of drivens. So in pair A and B, TA will be the driver and TB will be the driven. In pair C and D, C will be the driver and D will be the driven. So that's why N2 dash by N2 equal to TA into TC by TB into TD. So TA we already know, that is 120 into 70 by 200 into 250. So that is a ratio of 0.168 will be the ratio of number of teeth. TA into TC by TB into TD equals 0.168. So now we can find N2 dash equal to N2 into 0.168, that is 100 into 0.168, that is 17 RPM. So now here you can say 100 RPM is reduced to 17 RPM by using back gear. So the ratio will be common for each speed. So that's why we just need to multiply with 0.168. For every pair, the ratio of teeth will be same because TA into TC by TB into TD is equal for every step, every speed. So that's why that is common ratio. Then N4 dash equal to N4 into 0.168, that is N4 is equal to 33 into 0.168, that is 56 rpm will be the N4 dash. N8 dash equal to N8 into 0.168, that is N8 is 625 into 0.168, that is 1105 rpm. So N6 equal to N6 into 0.168, then it is, so here when the back gear is arranged, the speeds available are 17, 32, 156 and 105 rpm will be the reduced speeds when the back gear is arranged. So this will be used when high diameter workpiece is used in the lathes, then we need to use the back gear. So thus we can compare the speeds when the back gear is disengaged and the back gear is arranged. So next one is motor car gearbox. So in the motor car gearbox, we can see the diagram here, which is having a driver shaft, lay shaft, and driven shaft. So here you can see diametric arrangement of gearbox of sliding gearbox type for a motor car. So this is a sliding mesh gearbox, sliding gearbox type. So sliding gearbox is nothing but the gears will be slides. We can slide the E and G gears to get different speeds. So we can slide on this driven shaft to get the different speeds. So that's why it is called as sliding mesh gearbox. So here A is key to the driving shaft and is in constant mesh with wheel B. So his here you can see driving gear driver shaft which is connected to engine. So this shaft is, so here gear A is key to the driver shaft, which is always in contact with the gear B, which is key to the lay shaft. So both the wheels are, both the shafts are always in contact with each other. So the speed from driver is always transmitted to the lay shaft continuously without any disturbance. So here the wheels B, D, F and H are rigidly fastened together and revolve freely on the lay shaft. So here wheel B, C, B, D, E, sorry, B, D, F and H are rigidly fastened together and revolves freely on the lay shaft. So means it doesn't transmit power to the lay shaft. It are fixed at that particular places. sorry. So here lay shaft will here D and F, B, D, F, and H are H gears are fixed to the laid shaft. So which is revolve freely on the lay shaft. The axis of driver shaft and driven shaft are coaxial. So here this is the driver shaft and this is the driven shaft. These both shafts acts are collinear. The driven shaft is spindle so that the gear C and compound gear EG must revolve with the shaft also slide along it. So here the driven shaft is spindle. This driven shaft is splined because splined is nothing but, so this shaft consists of keyways around the shaft so that EEG is can slide over the driven shaft and must revolve with the shaft and also slide along it. So these must and should revolve along with the driven shaft and it can slide over the driven shaft. Here you can see the gearbox is the 3-speed type and in the descending order. So here the speed and the diameters of the gears are in descending order. Of speed of driven shaft, the car is said to be in the third gear, second gear, and first gear respectively. So in this we can get the third gear, second gear, and first gear here because we have three gears C, E, and G. It is a sliding type gear parts of motor car. The axis of driver shaft and driven shaft are collinear. Gear A is key to the driver shaft and is in contact constant mesh with gear D. The gear C and compound gear E and G slides along the spline shaft and also revolves with it. So now first we'll see the top gear. Gear C engaged with gear A by means of clutch. So here we have direct contact. C and A will be in direct mesh by means of clutch. So gears B, D, F, H on lay shaft revolves ideally. So here there is no part of lay shaft because C and A is directly in contact by means of clutch. So that is called top gear, means the speed of the driver is directly transmitted to driven shaft without any difference. So there is no part of lay shaft in this top gear. The speed ratio is 1 is to 1. There is no change in the speed. So here power is directly transmitted from driver shaft to driven shaft. So here in the third gear, the gear C is meshes with the gear D The motion is transmitted from A to B and D to C. So that is the top gear. Now it is thus. So now third gear we can see the third gear is engaged by sliding the gear C to the right side so that it meshes with the gear D. So here we were already discussed that E and D are the sliding parts, sliding gears. So E and D is connected together and E and D is slides over the lay shaft. So to get the third gear, what we need to do is we need to slide the sorry to get the third gear. What we need to do is C also sliding gear. So here the sliding gear C is moved towards the right so that it meshes with the D. So it meshes with the D. The driver is from A to B and C to D. Motion is transmitted from A to B and C to D. The train value NC by NA equal to TA into TD by TB into TC. So because the power is transmitted from A to B and D to C, D is on the lay shaft. So power is transmitted from D to C. That's why what happens is the product of drivers by product of teeth of driver by product of teeth of driven is the train value NC by NA. So here the drivers is TA into TD by TB into TC. A and D is the driver, B and C is the driven gears. And for the second gear, what happens is to run the car in the second gear, the gear E engages with F and the motion is transmitted from A to B and F to E. So here E will be slided to engage with F. So here A and F will be the drivers and B and E will be the drivens. Now the train value NE by NA equal to TA into TF by TB into TE. Here A and F will be the drivers, B and E will be the drivens. So for the first gear, what happens is the big gear here, the reduction of the speed will be more. So the gear gives biggest speed reduction. In this case, gear G engages with H and the motion is transmitted from A to B and from H to G. So here the biggest reduction of speed will be possible in the first gear. So in the first gear, the vehicle moves with very slow speed. The train value Ng by Na equal to here drivers are A and H. So Ta into Th by Tb into Tj will be the drivers train value for the first gear. To get a reverse gear, one idler gear is mounted on a separate shaft between the main shaft and lay shaft. To get the reverse direction, what we need to do is we need to introduce one more gear between the driven shaft and lay shaft to get back to get the reverse direction. So motion will be reversed by interposing the ideal gear between the wheel G and additional gear or lay shaft on lay shaft. So this is what the motor car gearbox. So in this the First top gear will be directly in contact with the, so directly gear A is engaged with gear C with the clutch. So there is no speed reduction in the top gear. So third gear, C slides to mesh with the gear D. So here the speed reduction will be possible, that is A to B, and the motion is transmitted from A to B and D to C. Train value is NC by NA equal to TA into TD by TB into TC. And for getting the second gear, the gear E is slide to engage with gear F. Then the train value is NE by NA equal to TA into TF by TB into TE. For the first gear, train value is Ng by Na equal to Ta into Th by Tb into Tg. So this is what the sliding mesh gearbox in a car. So we'll see some problems related to back gear and as well as related to sliding mesh gearbox. So a lathe back gear arrangement is to provide a total speed reduction of about 12 is to 1 from the cone pulley to the spindle, which are coaxial. So here the speed reduction is directly given, that is 12 is to 1. The module of high speed and low speed pairs are 5 mm and 6 mm respectively. Determine the number of teeth and exact total reduction on different wheels if the pinions have nearly equal teeth. The center distance is 300 mm. So here TA and TC is equal. So we need to find the number of teeth. TA, TB, TC and TD we need to find. So here in this one more condition is given as TC equal to TA because two pinions have the nearly equal teeth. The center distance is given. So C is equal to 300 rpm. Modules are given, that is M1 equal to 5. First pair A and B, that is 5. For C and D, M2 is 6. So now TA and TC is equal. Train value equal to ND by NA equal to TA into TC by TB into TD, that is 1 by 12. Now here TA equal to TC, TA square equal to TB into TD, that is equal to 1 by 12. The center distance is given, C equal to, for reverted gear train, the center distance between the two is equal. That is, center distance is in both the pairs is equal. That is, center distance equal to dA plus dB by 2 equal to dC plus dD by 2. dA equal to module equal to d by t. So from that we can take Ta plus Tb by 2 into M1 equal to Tc plus Td by 2 into M2. So that will be the central distance between the two pairs. So thus Ta plus Tb equal to 2 into 300 by 5, that is 120. Tb is equal to 120 minus Ta. The same way Tc plus Td equal to 2 into 300 by 6, that is 100. So then TD equal to 100 minus TC, that is equal to 100 minus TA, because TA equal to TC. From equation 1, 2 and 3, first we have seen train value equal to NDONA equal to TA square by TB into TC, TD. So TA square, TB is 120 minus TA, and TD is 100 minus TA, that is equal to 1 by 12. So here we got an equation TA square plus 220 into TA minus 1090.9 equal to 0. Then from this, by solving this equation, quadratic equation, TA will get 24.5, that is equal to 25. And here TA equal to TC equal to 25. Because both the pinions have same number of teeth. And number of teeth on gear B, TB equal to 120 minus 25, that is equal to 95. And TD equal to 100 minus 25, that is 75. So this is what the number of teeth of A, B, C and D. So here TA is equal to 25. So here TA equal to TC, then it is equal to 25. TB is 120 minus 25, that is 95. And TD is 100 minus 25, that is 75. So now exact train value is equal to ND by NA equal to TA into TC by TB into TD. TA is 25 and TC is also 25. Then 25 into 25 by TB into TD, that is 99 into 75. Then exact train value is 1 by 11.4 will be the exact train value for this problem. So in this class, we have seen some numerical problems on back gear of lathe and motor car gearbox. So what is here? The back gear is mainly used to reduce the speeds. So here we have seen how the speeds will reduced from direct engage to the back gear engagement, without back gear and with back gear. So here the reduction is more, because so when the back gear is disengaged, the direct speed is in the first pair, that is 100 rpm. By engaging the back gear, we got the 17 rpm. And when second pair, for the second pair, it is 188, and without back gear it is 188. The with back gear it is 32. And for the fifth and sixth pair, direct speed is 333, but we got the reduced speed of 56 by engaging the back gear. And for the last pair, 7 and 8, the direct speed is 625 without back gear, and with back gear we got the speed reduction of 105 rpm. So the more speed reduction is possible when the back gear is arranged. So this back gear is useful where the large workpiece is on the spindle. The large workpiece rotation, to work on the large diameter workpiece we need to engage this back gear. And we have seen the motor car gearbox. In the motor car gearbox, that is a sliding mesh gearbox. So to get different speeds we need to slide the gears and to make a contact with the gears on the lay shaft so that we get the different speeds. Here the reverted gear train means both the driver and driven shafts having the coaxial, collinear. So that's why the speed reduction. This is an example of reverted gear train also. Here, for the top gear, there is no speed reduction. That is 1:1 ratio will be. The power transmission will take place by using the clutch. For the third gear, C is meshed with the D. Then train value is NC by NA equal to TA into TD by TB into TC. For the second gear, train value is NE by NA equal to TA into TF by TB into TA. For the first gear, NG by NA equal to, here the larger dia of H is in contact with the gear G, then there is a largest speed reduction possible. So then Ng by Na equal to Ta into Th by Tb into Tg. For reverse direction, we need to incorporate an ideal gear in between the main shaft and lay shaft.